Welcome to the appendix, where we read the primary sources of the past so the present can be better understood. Today's primary source, Hamilton's Plan of Union, presented to the Federal Convention, June 18, 1787, as found in The Works of Alexander Hamilton, edited by H.C. Lodge, Volume 1, page 331. For variant texts, see Documents Illustrative of the Formation of the Union of the American States, page 979. Hamilton, who had long been active in the movement for strengthening the central government and who had attended the Annapolis Convention, was a delegate to the Federal Convention from New York. He was distinctly out of sympathy with the work of the Federal Convention, as he was with the final Constitution. On June 18th, he presented his own plan of union and explained it in an elaborate speech. The speech can be found in Madison's notes, document illustrative, etc., page 215, and see note page 225. A somewhat different version is in the notes of Yates, documents illustrative, etc., page 776. Hamilton's plan had no perceptible influence on the character of the Constitution. One, the supreme legislative power of the United States of America to be vested in two distinct bodies of men, the one to be called the Assembly, the other the Senate, who together shall form the legislature of the United States, with power to pass all laws whatsoever, subject to the negative hereafter mentioned. 2. The Assembly to consist of persons elected by the people to serve for 3 years. 3. The Senate to consist of persons elected to serve during good behavior, their election to be made by electors chosen for that purpose by the people. In order to do this, the states to be divided into election districts. On the death, removal, or resignation of any senator, his place to be filled out of the district from which he came. 4. The supreme executive authority of the United States to be vested in a governor, to be elected to serve during good behavior. His election to be made by electors chosen by the people in the election districts aforesaid, or by electors chosen for that purpose by the respective legislatures, provided that if an election be not made within a limited time, the President of the Senate shall be the governor. The governor to have a negative upon all laws about to be passed, and the execution of all laws passed, to be the commander-in-chief of the land and naval forces of the militia of the United States, to have the entire direction of war when authorized or begun, to have, with the advance and approbation of the Senate, the power of making all treaties, to have the appointment of the heads or chief officers of the departments of finance, war, and foreign affairs, to have the nomination of all other officers, ambassadors to foreign nations included, subject to the approbation or rejection of the Senate, to have the power of pardoning all offenses but treason, which he shall not pardon without the approbation of the Senate. 5. On the death, resignation, or removal of the governor, his authorities to be exercised by the President of the Senate, until a successor be appointed. 6. The Senate to have the sole power of declaring war, the power of advising and approving all treaties, the power of approving or rejecting all appointments of officers except the heads or chiefs of the departments of finance, war, and foreign affairs. 7. The supreme judicial authority of the United States to be vested in 12 judges to hold their offices during good behavior with adequate and permanent salaries. This court to have original jurisdiction in all causes of capture, and an appellate jurisdiction from the courts of the several states. in all causes in which the revenues of the general government or the citizens of foreign nations are concerned. 8. The legislature of the United States to have power to institute courts in each state for the determination of all causes of capture and of all matters relating to their revenues or in which the citizens of foreign nations are concerned. 9. The governor, senator, and all officers in the United States to be liable to impeachment for mal or corrupt conduct, and upon conviction to removed from office and disqualified for holding any place of trust or profit. All impeachments to be tried by a court to consist of the judge of the Supreme Court, chief or senior judge of the Superior Court of Law of each state, provided that such judge hold his place during good behavior and have a permanent salary. 10. All laws of the particular states contrary to the Constitution or laws of the United States to be utterly void, and the better to prevent such laws being passed, the governor or president of each state shall be appointed by the general government and shall have a negative upon the laws about to be passed in the state of which he is governor or president. 11. No state to have any forces, land or naval, and the militia of all the states to be under the sole exclusive direction of the United States, the officers of which to be appointed and commissioned by them. Thank you for joining us for our primary source today on the appendix. We will see you in the stacks.